Hello there, Maria. Hey, Mom, it's nice to hear from you. If I may ask, are you free today? Let me think. No, I got all my shopping taken care of in the morning, so I don't think I have anything for the rest of the day. Is Kurt at work? Yep, he's actually out of town on business right now. I think he was planning on coming back home later on tonight. I see. Well, I'm sure you're probably wondering why I'm asking you all these questions. I think I might have some idea why. And something tells me you've guessed correctly. I know you too well, Mom. If you have other plans, then please go right ahead and say so, dear. Like I always say, I don't want to impose on you when you're relaxing or taking away time from your personal business. But you know I do truly enjoy going to cafes and pastry shops with you, and, well, since I was planning on being in the area, I thought I might just extend a little invitation to my beloved daughter-in-law to set aside a few hours of her afternoon for some tea time with me. Now, I'll completely understand if you're busy or not in the mood, so if you don't want to come along, then just say so, dear. Nah, it's all right. I'll go with you, Mom. You know me, I never hesitate to tell you no when I can't go with you. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Maria. So how are you doing today? Actually, I was up pretty late last night getting some last-minute work done and just woke up a little bit ago. Oh, you poor thing. Well, I suppose that's one benefit of working from home like you do. Rather than spend all night in a dark and lonely office, you can do it in your own home. Right? It's a great arrangement. So, yeah, it's going to take me a little bit to become presentable enough to go out in public, so how about we meet up in an hour at the usual place? Does that work for you? 1 hour from now, the usual place. Got it. I'll see you later, dear.
Hey, Maria. Look, I'm really sorry. I know I said I was going to be home later on tonight, but plans have changed.
Kurt, what's going on? Are you okay?
I just got a call from my neighbor a little while ago. She said that my mom fell down the stairs. She hurt herself really bad. They had to call an ambulance.
What? Your mom fell down the stairs? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. When I called the hospital, they said that Mom's gonna need a lot of help around the house, even after she gets discharged. So I'm gonna be staying at my mom's place for a while.
So you mean you're gonna go straight to your mom's house right now?
Yeah, that's right. Man, I finally got back from this extended business trip and was just about to get in my car to drive home when I got the call. Mom's been living by herself ever since she and my dad got divorced, so she doesn't have anyone else who can take care of her but me. My company granted my request for family leave already, so yeah, I'm just gonna head right over there.
Okay, well, is there anything you need me to do for you? Should I bring you some clothes or something?
No, whatever you do, do not come over here.
Why not, Kurt? Is something wrong?
Mom said that it would be way too stressful to have you around, so she doesn't want you over here.
She did?
Well, yeah, of course she did. You know just as well as I do that you and Mom never really got along very well.
Oh, huh.
So anyway, you can just leave everything over here to me, okay? You could just take care of yourself and the house for me.
Right, gotcha, Kurt. Take care of yourself and your mom. Hey, Mom, did you get back to your house yet? Yes, Maria, I just got home a short while ago. Thank you for asking. I looked all around, but I don't see Kurt anywhere. Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. It was just so bizarre. I mean, he sent me that text when you were literally sitting right next to me in the cafe. Yes, and I just talked to my neighbor after I got home. When I asked him if he had called Kurt on the phone, he had no idea what I was talking about. Furthermore, he said he doesn't know Kurt's phone number, so he couldn't contact him even if he wanted to. I see. Well, then, I'm gonna try making a call to Kurt's office tomorrow morning. Hey, by the way, Mom, I feel really bad being so brutally honest about having my suspicions about Kurt's behavior, but frankly, I'm beginning to wonder whether the entire extended business trip story was a lie, too. Maria, dear, I don't blame you at all. Quite the contrary, I'd be suspicious of him too if I were in your position. And besides, I was the one who told you not to call Kurt out when he was lying about me going to the hospital. I'm partially responsible for this series of events. Yeah, and I'm really, really grateful you told me not to call him out. If you hadn't, then I probably would have thought it was just some kind of joke, or maybe he was just trying to make an excuse for going out drinking with his colleagues tonight, and just came out and told him that, no, you're sitting right next to me. Please let me know when you learn anything new, Maria. Gotcha. I'll be sure to let you know. Hey, Mom, I just got off the phone with Kurt's office, and it's just like I thought. His story about having an extended business trip was a complete lie. I see. Well, I suppose that was really a foregone conclusion at this point. The entire time he said he was out of town on business, he had actually taken that office paid leave. Then yesterday, when he told me that he needed to take care of you in the hospital, he gave his office the exact same excuse and asked for family leave time. All right. Is there anything else? Yes, actually. Based on everything we know, I'm sure you probably saw this coming from a mile away, but I'm about 80 to 90% sure he was staying somewhere with his mistress during that time. Several of his coworkers reported to HR that they had seen him going into a hotel with one of the company's new employees, a young woman fresh out of college who just joined this year. That happened about 6 months ago. And what do you know, that very employee took time off on the exact same days Kurt did. She was supposed to come back yesterday, but in what I'm sure is also a pure coincidence, she called in this morning because she had the flu. What do you want to bet the two of them are still together as we speak? Oh no, I was afraid that's what you were going to find out. Who was it that told you all of this? The person who answered the phone when I called was one of Kurt's colleagues. I've also met him several times at various company events. Oh, and he also told me about the female employee's secret social media account. The account itself is anonymous, but there were a few pictures where I could clearly see Kurt's face, so those should be useful to me as evidence of his affair. Well, I'm glad you managed to get those. I guess she should have been a bit more careful when taking them. As for where they went on their vacation, there wasn't enough information on their account to pin a location down. Well, then we have no choice but to wait until they get back. You think we should wait? Well, we've already identified the woman Kurt's having an affair with. And Kurt doesn't know that you know that I'm not actually in the hospital. Don't worry, we'll let him in on our little secret when the timing is just right. What did you have in mind, Mom? First, how about we check with Kurt on when he plans to come home? Oh, good idea, Mom. I'll do that right now. Hey, Kurt, how's your mom doing?
It turns out that her injury wasn't as bad as the doctors first thought. I should be able to come back home in 2 days. I'll have to keep tabs on her condition, though. I might need to come back to help her if she gets bad again.
I see.
Man, I sure was shocked when I heard she was taken to the hospital. I'm just glad it wasn't as bad as it could have been. She could have broken her leg, or worse.
Yeah, that's great news, Kurt. Are you at your mom's house right now?
Yeah, I just got back from taking Mom to a checkup a bit ago.
Uh-huh.
Hey, sorry, babe, I gotta go. I was up really late last night taking care of Mom. I'm beat. I think I'm gonna hit the sack a little early.
Oh, you poor thing. Oh, make sure you get plenty of rest. Good night.
Hey, Maria, I'm heading home now. I'll be there in just a few minutes.
Oh, you're coming home now?
I sure am. Man, you wouldn't believe the traffic right now. Like I said, I'll be home in 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. Boy, this is really getting interesting.
Huh? What is?
The whole thing about your mom going to the hospital?
What do you mean? You think that's interesting? What's your deal? Maria? What's going on?
Welcome home, dear. I should ask you the same question. You ran right to the bathroom and locked yourself in when you got home. Did you have to go that bad?
That's not it. Why is Mom at our house?
Because she came over yesterday and spent the night.
What? Hey, wait a second. Does this mean you know about, well...
Yep. I knew it was all a lie from the very beginning.
You did? But why? How?
At the time when you sent me the panicked text saying that your mom was in a terrible accident and got taken to the hospital, I was sitting right next to her.
You were together?
Yeah, we were having a little tea time at a cute little cafe.
You were having tea with my mom? There's no way! You guys never got along! I remember back when you started working at home and Mom didn't get that whole system at all. She just thought you were a full-time housewife. She'd call you and keep you on the line for hours on end, and when you told her to stop, she flipped out.
Oh, that? Yeah, we already talked that over. It's water under the bridge now.
You've gotta be kidding me.
Your mom found out that I was the one who was writing the cafe hopping blog that she read every day. When we got to talking about it, she came to understand the fact that I was a professional writer, and she apologized for her mistake. So we've been going cafe hopping together for quite some time now. Didn't I tell you about that?
No!
Sometimes my work takes me over where near your mom lives, and she often has business that brings her over here.
So that's what you were doing when I texted you? Cafe hopping?
Now you get it. I'm glad you were able to catch up. That's how I knew you were lying.
Unreal. I thought I could use your bad relationship to my advantage, but I ended up ruining everything.
Right? Like I said, this is getting really interesting.
No, it's not. Come on. This sucks.
Kurt?
Hey, Mom.
Have you forgotten the reason your father and I got divorced? He lied and told me he was going out of town for business when he was actually going on a trip with his mistress. Of all the things you could have inherited from your father, you had to inherit that. Where did I go wrong in raising you?
Mom,
Now unlock the door and come out of the bathroom. Once you do, you're going to get on your knees, apologize profusely for betraying Maria, and prepare yourself to pay penance for what you've done.
Mom, no! Mom, you can't do this to me! I'm your son! Aren't you gonna take my side?
As your mother, it's my sacred responsibility to punish you for getting out of line. Oh, Kurt, what am I going to do with you? I never in my wildest dreams imagined that I would one day have to force you to come out of the bathroom and apologize as an adult. The last time I had to do that, you were 8. I've never been so humiliated in my life. I don't know how I'll ever make it up to poor Maria.
Mom, please, you have to take my side. You have to.
As soon as you're done apologizing to Maria, I'm disowning you as my son and writing you out of my will.
Mom, no! Listen, Maria, I'm gonna break up with that girl, okay? So please, give me another chance.
No.
Please!
I'm going to stay at my parents' house.
Maria, wait!
You want me to wait? Why don't you come out of the bathroom and make me?
But I can't do that. Not while my mama's around.
I'll let you know once I've hired a lawyer. Anything else you want to say to me will have to go through him.
A lawyer? But what for?
I'm divorcing you, you lying, cheating creep. Goodbye.
Maria!
The house we were living in was in Kurt's name, so I moved out and went to stay with my parents. I found a lawyer right away and sued him for a divorce with damages added for his affair. Also, I found out later on that the woman my husband was cheating on me with was engaged to be married herself. Which means the two of them had to face another lawsuit from him after they got done with mine. After that trial ended, for God knows what reason, my ex-husband messaged me saying that he has no money to pay the damages after he paid me off and asked me to lend him some. I ignored him. Next, he went to his mother's house to try his luck there. However, unbeknownst to him, his mother had moved some time ago, and he had no leads as to where she had moved to. I know where she is now, obviously, but I'm not going to tell him. One night I actually saw him in a crumpled heap on the sidewalk in front of my parents' house, crying his eyes out. My father had given him a few choice words that apparently hit pretty hard. After a while, he stood back up and slowly started shuffling away into the distance. I have no idea what he's doing now.
Hey, Molly. So what's going on with Steve's funeral?
Oh, hey, Dad. Perfect timing. I've been meaning to talk to you.
If you've got something planned, then hurry up and tell me when it's gonna be. Unlike some people I know, I have a life.
Yeah, I was just about to send you the details. The visitation is going to be this Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., and the funeral will start at 1 p.m. the next day.
Got it.
Hey, Dad? I'm only saying this because I remember what happened at Mom's funeral, but please, Dad, can you please not make any inappropriate comments about your business relationships at Steve's funeral? Like, about primary contractors and subcontractors and all?
What are you saying?
Well, your company doesn't have any direct connections with my husband's company, but you do share some of the same clients, right? Basically, there are probably going to be some people at the funeral from companies that you've met before and do business with. So before you come, I'd just like you to keep in mind that anything inappropriate that you say or do at Steve's funeral will probably have a much bigger impact than what you did at Mom's funeral.
I don't get it. What's your problem?
I mean, you have this thing about business relationships. Like, primary contractors are the most important and subcontractors are just underlings or something.
Yeah, and? Your point? People need to know their place in this world.
Yes, that's certainly true about some things. But you're choosing a very specific and very, outdated issue to focus on, is what I'm saying. Remember, my husband's parents lost their son when he was just 25 years old, and the funeral is supposed to be a place where they can say their proper goodbyes and find some sense of peace. Please, Dad, I'm begging you, don't go saying anything untoward to them during the funeral, okay? Dad? I was very explicit when I talked to you before. Would you mind explaining why you screamed, "Know your place, peasant," at the representative of one of your client companies and kicked him out of the church?
Huh? Oh, you mean that little upstart from Arthravale Manufacturing? That pathetic little factory outside of town? That place is a subcontractor of one of my subcontractors. We got a big deadline coming up. Who does he think he is showing up at a funeral when the only reason he even exists is to meet that deadline?
I don't believe this.
Oh yeah, and about your husband. Just because he went and kicked the bucket doesn't mean I'm gonna let you live off my money again. You got that?
What?
I don't want you to ruin our family's reputation by coming back to live with us because you can't make it on your own. If you need help, go and live with his peasant family.
Excuse me? What is going on with you, Dad? What do you mean, live off your money?
I'm just making sure you don't go and get your hopes up, that's all. I spoke in plain English, so I won't let you pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, Dad. I have literally zero clue what you're talking about.
Then how about this? I'm disowning you.
Huh?
Don't ever show your face around my house ever again, little girl. You're no daughter of mine.
Oh, so I don't have to go see you anymore?
Have to?
You're saying I don't need to come visit you on holidays like Christmas, Easter, birthdays, that sort of thing?
Well, yeah, you're not allowed to come visit me.
I really don't get what your angle is with this, but your terms are acceptable. Thanks for letting me know you're cutting ties with me, Dad. That saves me a lot of trouble.
Hold on.
Mom's sister took all of her things from your house after she died, and I don't have anything of value left over there, so anything that's still there can be thrown away. Really, you've just saved me the trouble of disposing of a lot of old junk. I was dreading having to do that by myself.
Molly?
Let me just say this, Dad. You've disowned me of your own volition. I'm not your daughter anymore, you're not my father anymore. So don't come crying to me for help when everything comes crashing down around you. Goodbye.
What the? Hey, Molly! What's going on? What's the meaning of this? You're remarried? When did this happen?
What do you mean? My husband is my first and only husband.
Wait, what? But that doesn't make sense. Steve's dead, right? Like dead, gone. But now I'm reading in this interview online that your husband is the next in line to be the CEO of Straver Industries?
Oh, yes, my husband is set to be the next CEO of Straver Industries. But what does that have to do with Steve? I really don't see what the relevance is here.
Huh? Your husband has only been dead for a week. You should be in mourning, but you're already remarried to some wealthy, powerful businessman?
What? My husband is as healthy as a horse, Dad. I don't think I've ever seen him catch a cold. I've been married to the CEO of Straver this whole time.
Are you drunk or something? I saw you at the funeral. You were clinging onto the casket, crying your eyes out.
Oh, that? That wasn't me, Dad. That was the woman who spent so much of his money that he divorced her, his ex-wife.
I'm very confused.
Well, it had only been about 3 months since they got divorced, so I thought she deserved to know about his passing and the date and location of the funeral. Looks like she never really was able to get over him. I felt pretty bad for her. She absolutely fell apart in front of everyone.
I'm still confused. This ex-wife, who is she?
You know who she is. She's our very own prodigal daughter. She suddenly up and left home one day, and we haven't heard from her in about 10 years before she randomly showed up a year ago. She's my twin sister, Mandy.
This is giving me a headache. Your sister?
As far as twins go, we definitely do look a lot alike, and given the circumstances, I'm not surprised you couldn't tell the difference between us. But seriously, not only could you not tell the difference between us, you forgot who we married? Like, for real, Dad?
Oh, yeah. In my defense, both of you brought your fiancés to the house at around the same time, so it's pretty understandable that I'd mix them up.
Oh no, don't tell me. Did you make the exact same mistake that she did?
What mistake?
You're clearly having a hard time with this, so I'll start from the beginning. I've been dating the same guy ever since we were both in high school, remember? And that guy is Steve's younger brother.
His younger brother? Oh! Your sister got married to the older brother, Steve, and you were dating the younger brother, Stuart!
Yep, that's right. Stuart has been in line to inherit the leadership of Straver from his father ever since he started going to college. So he was going through a sort of business apprenticeship with his father while going to school.
Wait, but Stuart is the younger son. Why would he be the one to inherit the business? What about Steve? He's the older son.
Well, their dad had a long talk with the both of them about what their goals were for the future, and in the end, Steve decided that he would rather forge his own path in life, so it was decided to pass the company on to Stuart. And by the way, Mandy swooped back into town like a vulture when she heard the news that I was engaged to the next CEO of Straver Industries. But it seems that, just like you, she also operated under the assumption that the firstborn son would be the one who got the company. Since she thought I was engaged to Steve, Mandy started in on a massive effort to steal him away from me and secure her business as the wife of a wealthy businessman.
I see.
She managed to win his heart, and they even got married in short order. But just when she thought that she had succeeded in pushing me to the side, she had the horrifying revelation that it was Stuart and not Steve who would be taking over the company. It came as a massive shock to her.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That wasn't the end, though. After they got divorced, Mandy realized that she had actually fallen in love with him, even if he wasn't the wealthy businessman she thought he was. She even threw herself at his feet and begged him to take her back. But, well, she was just too late.
Oh, I guess that explains why she was crying like that.
Well, that's the end of the story. Did you get all that? Don't worry about Mandy. Aunt Gracie said she's going to look after her for the time being. You can leave her to us.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for that.
It's strange to hear from you so soon, though, Dad. Didn't you just disown me as your daughter a few days ago?
Oh, I guess I did. Hey!
What do you want now?
It's about my subcontractor, Arthurvale Manufacturing.
Okay, what about them?
Their president is the younger brother of the chairman of the board of Straver Industries?
Yeah?
Yeah, well, why didn't you tell me about that?
Good grief, Dad, you really didn't know? Straver's chairman's brother founded Arthurvale after retiring from Straver with the explicit purpose of training up new talent to support the industry's future. It was all in the papers. It's intentionally kept as a small-scale operation due to its purpose as a training company. So they typically only do small order subcontracting orders. It's their bread and butter. Seriously, I thought this was common knowledge for the local business community.
I had no idea.
Oh, for the love of... So you really didn't know then?
Oh no, what am I gonna do now?
Okay, I'll bite. What's the matter, Dad?
I've got to figure out some way to make it up to Arthurvale's president.
I think I know what's going on, but go ahead and spell it out for me.
I've been getting call after call from clients the last few days saying they're cutting off our business relationships. I was completely floored when one of our biggest clients said that, and when I asked them why, they said that they had heard about my behavior at Steve's funeral the other day, and they didn't want to be associated with someone who made such inflammatory remarks anymore, so they're cutting ties.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say.
But it doesn't make any sense. What did I say that was inflammatory?
You still don't get it? Arthurvale is a small-scale operation, but the technicians who train there go on to take on important roles at multiple manufacturers all over the region. There are even some alumni who have gone on to launch massively successful companies of their own. Wherever they end up, though, the common thread between everyone who works at Arthurvale is that they are fiercely, passionately loyal to the company. Which brings us to the question of what was so inflammatory. At the funeral for a young man who died at 25 years old, you shouted at an Arthurvale representative as if you were some kind of medieval noble lording over the local serfs. You ticked off a lot of people that day, and given how loyal Arthurvale alumni are, it's only reasonable that the ones in position to do so would make moves against you and your company.
Oh no. I had no idea what sort of place Arthurvale was. If I had known, I never would have said those things about them.
You shouldn't have said those things regardless of who you were saying them about. Have you no common sense?
Of course I do.
No, Dad, the way you're responding to this is basically proof positive that you do not. If you did, you wouldn't have put yourself in this position in the first place.
Come on, Molly, you've got to do something about this.
Huh? Why should I?
Isn't it obvious you're married to one of the most influential business families in the state? That makes me the father-in-law of the next CEO of Straver Industries. I'm in a way stronger position than the president of Arthravale. If I use my relationship with you as leverage, I can get that old geezer to do anything I want. You can save my company.
I hate to tell you, Dad, but I doubt that would work even if I tried.
Why, though?
Because it's not just my husband. The entire corporate philosophy of Straver is uniting with firms both big and small within the industry to form a mutual support network. In short, they hate businessmen like you.
No.
You really have no ground to be complaining to me in the first place.
Please, Molly, can't you do something? It doesn't have to be out in public, can't you just kind of give him a subtle threat behind closed doors?
No, I'm not a jerk, but seriously though, did you forget again that you disowned me?
That's not important right now.